the intention that I am bringing here today for this service is the name of the talk is, or the name of the service is Your Creative Voice. I know that there's kind of a series going on around voice and kind of, you know, what I'm bringing here today as an artist and as a facilitator of process art workshops is to invite an awareness and a tapping into our own creative voice and then an expressing of it. Because we all have a creative spark, a very unique creative spark within us. We're each a channel for the life flow energy that is always expressing, it's always moving. And yet, so many of us don't think we're creative, right? Like not, I'm not an artist, or I can't draw a straight line, or I don't have a creative bone in my body. And those are things that the mind will say and that we tend to repeat. And yet, whether or not we identify as visual artists, we all are channels and conduits for creative life force energy, however that expresses. And it expresses ultimately through every decision we make in life. So we're going to get to play with that a little bit today. And why are we doing this? Well, to me, this is the foundation of my very life and joy and bliss. But what I find is folks who are in tune with, when we get in touch with that creative voice, that there's a freedom and there's an empowerment that plays out in all aspects of our lives, not just in front of the canvas or at the page or at the musical instrument or whatever your medium might be, but that it really frees us to, it frees our decisions, our decision making, and how we even move through the world, the level of freedom and the level of enjoyment that can come through every moment of every day. So for our gathering today, you will need, or I invite you to have some creative expression materials. And that can be as simple as if you have, say, a set of colored pencils or crayons or watercolors, paints, and paper, that's great. If you don't have anything like that, even just having, you might have a Sharpie marker or even just a simple pen or pencil at the very least. And we'll have a writing prompt, a journal prompt. So if you have a favorite journal that you like to write in, you can grab that, or just simply some blank paper. Some scrap paper is even fine. And if you don't even have scrap paper around, maybe you have some junk mail that you don't mind working with. So I'm all about reducing, reusing, and recycling. So whatever you have around, you can feel free to kind of gather that up. We are going to have a meditation in just a couple minutes. I'll give a couple minutes for if you do need to grab some materials. And then we'll go into some journaling for a bit. And then I'll be guiding us into a free-flowing creative expression activity. And you don't have to have any experience or talent whatsoever. Again, this is to tap the life force energy that is inherent. It is within. So, and I like to think of this as an activity of play that really what we're inviting is to get in touch with kind of that inner child spirit of just exploration and investigation with materials. So, hopefully you're gathering materials if you haven't already. And before we move into a centering meditation time, I'm going to read a couple of quotes from a book. One of my favorite Unity authors is Eric Butterworth, and Some of you are probably familiar with his work. This book in particular is In the Flow of Life. And he talks about these concepts of creative flow. He talks about flow in a lot of ways, but this really what it comes down to is that universal energy. So I'm going to read just a couple of passages from this book because I think it really speaks to what we're going to be tapping here today. He said, the great truth taught by the mystics of all ages is life is lived from within out. This means that the whole universe is concentrated at the point where you are. More than this, you are the universe expressing as you. You are its living enterprise. It forever stands behind you with its full resources. However, the fullness of this universal support comes through you and not just to you. It comes through you, not just to you. The most profound knowledge is that you can attain, the most profound knowledge that you can attain is that your whole existence flows forth inexorably from a universal process, which is always from within out. From within out. When I paint and when I lead workshops, I like to call it painting from the inside out, rather than from the outside in, rather than, needing external validation or expectations or so on. So really coming from the truth that is within. Eric Butterworth also later goes on to say, again, kind of rewording the same idea, dwell much on this concept that life is lived from the inside out, and that you are a dynamic center in the creative flow, which is God. You are inexorably linked to the transcendent flow of life. You are inexorably linked to the transcendent flow of life. So let's take those thoughts into a time of meditation. I invite you to, if you wish to start, first of all, you can begin by just simply kind of orienting to this time and space, orienting to the room in which you're in, kind of looking around. Feeling the seat or floor below you. And if it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. You can even turn off your camera if that's more comfortable for you. And then inviting a deep breath, a deep inhale, filling the lungs, allowing the rib cage to expand. And exhaling, letting go and softening into the supports of either the chair, the floor, whatever your contact with the earth is. Continuing to breathe in a way that's natural for you. With the next inhale, I invite you to allow the belly to expand with the breath. Breathing all the way deep into the belly. And as you exhale, just again, relaxing, letting go of any tension you might be holding in the body. Allowing the shoulders to soften down away from the ears, releasing. Softening the muscles of the face, the forehead, any tension in the jaw. And just arriving here in this body, in this sacred temple of the body. I'll guide us through a awareness, kind of sweeping, some call it a body scan of awareness. But I invite you to bring your awareness to the top of your head, to the crown. And then allowing the awareness to slowly move down through each part of the body. So noticing what you notice as you bring the awareness into the forehead, behind the eyes, into the muscles of the face, the cheeks, the nose, the mouth, the jaw, the lower jaw, ears, the entire head and face. Softening any tension and noticing what you notice right here, right now. Allowing the awareness to move into the neck, the throat. Just seeing what's present. Down into the collarbone, the shoulders, the upper back, the chest, the arms, down into the hands, the fingertips. Bringing a gentle awareness to any sensations we feel, perhaps tingling or throbbing, or just a warmth or a coolness, or perhaps nothing at all. Breathing, bringing awareness into the entire torso of the body, to all of the organs, the tissues, bones. And breathing down into the belly, into the pelvis, all the way to the pelvic floor. Just noticing what we feel, noticing what we notice. Down into the inner thighs, the legs, the knees, down all the way to the ankles, down to the feet and the toes, soles of the feet. Breathing, allowing the breath to move and flow. And then bringing awareness to the entire body at once as a living, breathing organism, flowing with vitality, with life force energy. Feeling the aliveness of the body without judgment, just being here. And continuing to breathe and bringing awareness to the center of the chest, once again, to our heart space and beyond. And just tuning in to notice any emotional qualities that might be present right now, right here. Breathing deeply and just noticing how we have arrived today, how we are arriving. Bringing a quality of tenderness and acceptance and care to our emotional selves, and to our minds, to any thoughts that might be swirling. Whatever is here, whatever is present, it is welcome. It belongs. You can even bring your hand to a part of the body, perhaps to the heart or the belly or any other part of the body that in this moment might be needing a little extra care, a little extra welcoming. If there's a part of the body that you've been struggling with or that's been bringing pain or any emotional qualities, just allowing it to be here and just bringing the intention for care. Whether or not we feel it, just bringing that intention. Breathing. And from this place of care and welcoming, we welcome our inner creative spirit, that inner child, playful energy, any part of us that might have felt judged or repressed or contained at any point in our lives. We welcome those aspects today. You are safe. You are welcome. You are loved. So taking just a few moments to breathe here in the quiet, welcoming all parts of ourselves to this moment. Dwell much on this concept that life is lived from the inside out, that you are a dynamic center in the creative flow, which is God. You are inexorably linked to the transcendent flow of life. Breathing and knowing this truth as you hear the sound of the bell to close our meditation. Welcome back, friends. I'd like to go directly into a moment of writing, a journal prompt that I have for you. So coming out of meditation now, if you'd like to grab a piece of paper and a pen or any writing utensil that you choose. And we'll just take a few moments here. I will time us. But as you come out of that meditation experience, the question that I have for you to contemplate, to hold in your heart, and to check in with yourself is this: what stands in the way of my fullest authentic expression? Or what is standing in the way of my fullest authentic expression? You can be with this question in whichever way you choose, if it's something that applies to the past or it's something that applies now. But I encourage you to keep your pen or writing utensil moving. I'm going to time us for 5 minutes. And just, even if no words are coming, just see if you can keep writing, free writing. There's no right or wrong way, and you don't have to share this, but just keep the pen moving. What stands in the way of my fullest authentic expression? Also add this to the chat. We'll write for about 1 more minute, or we have about 1 more minute of writing time. So all right. You can come back to writing as we continue if you choose, but I'd like to get us to start to transition into visual creative expression. So feel free to return to the writing, like I said, or this can also be a combination where you incorporate words and images. And we will have some time to share at the end, but I want to keep us moving directly into our creative expression before we get into discussion. So if you don't already have a blank sheet of paper or some kind of material in front of you, I invite you to grab that. It can also be the same sheet that you were writing on if you wish. And what I'd like for you to do, if you choose to follow these instructions, is to, again, to tune in to your body, just like we were doing in the meditation a moment ago. And as you were connecting with different parts of your body, just to see right now if there's a part of your body that is calling you in this moment, that is needing that extra attention, or perhaps that would like to express today. And if that is the case, I invite you to allow that part of your body to choose whatever your first utensil or color is going to be. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. There's no right or wrong answers here. There's absolutely no mistakes. But see if you can allow your body to choose, rather than just the mind, to go ahead and grab any color or any creative utensil you have, even if it's just a a black marker. But if you do have paints or colored pencils or markers, see what color you're drawn to right now, just to begin. Doesn't have to make sense, just grabbing something. And then as you continue to breathe, allowing your body to move, allowing the hand, the arm, and as much of the body as possible to begin to just make marks, making marks on the page. It can be as slow or as fast as you wish. Just think of it almost as a scribble, just mark making, simple. Seeing if you can keep your awareness on your breath and on your body as you move with color or with line, with form. Seeing if there's any particular way that your body would like to move right now. Allowing yourself to play, to explore with mark making. And just bringing attention to any time that the mind jumps in with commentary or if there's any judgment, just noticing, just noticing. You can say, thank you very much for trying to keep me safe, and then coming back to what you're doing. And as you're making marks on the page, notice if at any point you're drawn to use another color or another mark making utensil. And just following that flow. Either adding to what you've started, or you can always go to another page if you have another blank page. Beginning to respond to what's in front of you. Playing with that. Breathing, noticing if there's any tension or holding on or any judgments, just breathing and letting it go. Continuing to play. Continuing to explore whatever is taking shape in front of you. And noticing if there's any particular marks that feel really good to make, any particular motions that feel natural for you. Allowing yourself to maybe add new layers, add new lines on top. And if something starts to form or take shape, you can follow that. Follow that thread and see what wants to be born here. Allowing it to morph and change without needing to control it. And it doesn't have to make any sense. keeping that spirit of curiosity for whatever's showing up, just being playful with it. Seeing if we can let go of our attachments to the results and to how it looks, allowing it to be about the process and about our own discovery. Giving permission to discover, to explore. Continuing to breathe, noticing when we're not breathing. And if at any point you feel that you've made a mistake, if you notice the mind calling something a mistake or messing up or whatever, not good enough, just remember what the TV guru Bob Ross used to say, they're just happy little accidents. Let it turn into something else. Just like kids do. It wants to be something else. Let it morph. And time flies when you're having fun. We're going to do this for about 5 more minutes. So this is an invitation to, if there's anything that has come up that you might have said no to or you haven't added to the page, whether it felt funny or felt like it didn't fit or you felt like you didn't know how to do it, this is your invitation just to do it, just to try it. See what happens. Knowing that it's just a piece of paper. There's no consequences. So we'll just take a couple more minutes and know that you can always come back to this too. Don't have to be finished. All right, I'd like to welcome everyone back. And we have just a few minutes left. I would love to just open the space here now for anyone who would like to share and be witnessed. Anything that you wrote, any insights that arose, anything that you created, any images you'd like to share with us, or if there's just anything about this process that was revealing or surprising that you would like to just be witnessed with. So I think we'll just, if anyone, you could just unmute yourself, kind of raise your hand or something. And I will say first that I'd like to ask that we not comment on each other's pieces. So even positively, positive or negative, but just to witness and just to listen and see, and just allow it to be what it is without having to have the commentary or critique.